Yo, big up, big up, big up. Honestly, I wasn't gonna do this today because I'm so tired. I'm so tired. But you've got to start as you mean to go on. And I realised obviously next Sunday out with the wife for her birthday, so I definitely can't do it next week. But Nate's gonna cover it next week, so I thought let me just quickly come on, and let's do this. Let's actually talk about this week's fixtures. Oh, there's been some shocks. There have been some shocks, but the Premier League is back. Now, where do I even begin? You know what? Let's go through the fixtures before I start bringing guests in. Let's actually go through the weekend's fixtures. Guys, obviously share the stream. There's probably a lot of people out there that want to have their say on their team's performance. But it all kicked off on Friday night. My boys Palace lost 2-0 to Arsenal at Selhurst Park. The games on Saturday: Fulham 2, Liverpool 2, Bournemouth 2, Villa 0, Leeds 2, Wolves 1, Newcastle 2, Nottingham Forest 0, Tottenham 4, Southampton 1, Everton 0, Chelsea 1, which leads on to today's games, which saw Leicester throw a 2-goal lead away, in fact, actually. So Leicester 2, Brentford 2, Manchester United 1, Brighton 2, and West Ham 0, Man City 2. Let's do this. We have got in. I'm going to bring in first. Manchester Mania, how you doing, mate?
Pain. That's it.
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Just about.
That's weird. I don't know why, but basically, man, I'm fine. It's painful, but painful.
Talk to us about the game before I bring another guest in. I see Forever Football at the
We're a
back.
small club. We're a small club.
So what aspect makes you small?
The players that we have, the coaching that we have, the management that we have, the backstage stuff that we have, the owners that we have. God forbid seeing McTominay play in Man United shirt. Everything makes us a small club, man. We're losing to Brighton. Back-to-back matches lost to Brighton. Come on, man. They're Brighton. The Seaweeds. Who the fuck are they? No, nobody. And we're losing to them. That's what makes us a small club.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy. I mean, just watching the game, it looked as if nothing had changed.
Exactly.
And it honestly looked as if Ten Hag was probably standing there like, I ain't taught you this. You know, that's how crazy it looked. I mean, I'm not going to go into any of your players. We didn't win either, so I can't really be moving mad. But McTominay was terrible.
He caught both goals were individual errors by him. Both of them.
It's crazy. And I'm sure he lasted 78 minutes or so. I know Donny only played like the last 10, 15 or something.
I think it was more than that.
Yeah, unbelievable. Right, I'm going to bring in a few more guests. I'm still contemplating how I do this. Should I do it as a one call at a time thing? But then it takes away the banter. That's why I like having, a few people in. Big up Al. Big up Tariq. How you doing, my guys?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good.
I'm good.
Sweet. Before we come to you, Al, you can talk to us about Donny. Hamza, I said he can't come on today. All right, cool, no problems. Because I did see you in the back. Let's just see. Nippon, hope you're well, my guy. Big up, make sure you go and drop Nippon a sub if you haven't done so already. Big up to King. I know you did it, sweetheart. Are you finished your food? Oh, that's what you're shouting out. Big up King. Obviously, I had a quick chat with him actually after the game on Friday night and stuff. Very humble in victory, by the way. I must give him credit. Big up Hamza. He said he can't make it today, but he says so. What happened today is a reality check of how rubbish we are. No squad depth and rubbish players. Hate this. We have to get players and back the manager. Absolutely. Will Cecil join? No, I haven't reached out to Cecil on today. I wasn't even going to do the show. I'm so tired. Big up Luca and big up Newsflash as well. And Oh, snap. Courtney just left. Courtney, come back in. Sorry, my guy. I was just hitting the comments. My bad. Big up vibes in the cut as well. Oh, now obviously I will be lying if I told you I went to go and look at League 2. League 1, League 2. So how did your boys do?
I'll tell you something now. Past couple of games, because obviously we started a week before the Premier League. So we had Bradford away, which, by the way, fantastic travel. Can't wait. I'd love to take that ground off. And then we hosted Sutton. First of all, Bradford last week. Look, did we play pretty football? No, we played pretty much anti-football, where we frustrated Mark Hughes, we pissed off Bradford, we time wasted, we did everything to frustrate them and really make them angry. We were kicking the balls out for a throw. We were doing everything to throw Bradford off because we were just putting men behind the ball. We were just holding the ball and just playing it around and trying to pass people off the park. And 6 minutes in, the Bradford player Osadebo gets a double leg break. So bad news for the Bradford guy who's best wishes to Osadebo, who got a double leg break in that game. The challenge itself wasn't a red card. He got the ball, but then the fall through was at least a yellow card. So even though the tackle itself was a yellow card, he still got the ball. It was just a freak accident the way he fell, and it's just one of those things that doesn't really happen as much. So best wishes to Osadebe, of course. He's recovering from a double leg break now. Bradford fans still haven't gotten over that, but that's okay because it takes away their tears. But from a Doncaster point of view, like I said, we took men behind the ball. Defensively, we were better. Our game management was so much better than last season because last season we'd have tried going for it and then got rolled over 2-3-0. But we kept it in the corner flag. We knew we weren't going to win that game, so we kept it in the corner flag for the last minute or two and just frustrated them again. So what we did was we held the game out and we got something out of nothing because we were played off the. Bradford dominated the game for most of that match. We just got a point out of it. So, and not many points going to get points from Valley Parade this season. So that was a great game in terms of seeing out a match that we weren't going to win with 10 men, by the way. I'm sure you'll have seen online the viral 2 yellow cards in like 10 seconds from Lee Tomlin. Jesus, Lee Tomlin. So that was us. That was the viral video. That was us. After that,
that was crazy.
That was Premier League behaviour with a Scottish referee that didn't take no BS. So, the referee was awful, but it was right to send him off. I can't back the player for that. But we've held men behind the ball. We've frustrated Bradford. We got a point out of nothing. I like it. Then Sutton yesterday at home. First home game of the season. About 5,000 people there overall. Sutton brought a few hundred. Not too bad for an opening day. Again, first 10-15 minutes, we were looking all right. And then Sutton scored. Should the marking have been better? Absolutely. Could the keeper do better? Not really. You can only do with what you can with the reflexes. First 15 minutes were okay. Then Sutton scored the goal, and it was all Sutton till about the 85th minute, 90th minute. Got to 4 minutes at a time, 1-0 down. And then from nowhere, we put a ball in the box. Miller gets his head on it. 1-1. You're thinking, we've got a point out of nothing again. And then what happens about a minute later? Literally, Miller puts it through to Agard in mass amount of space. He puts it in the back of the net, and we win the game from nowhere. We didn't deserve to get anything from that game, and yet we still won the game. Now, imagine if we played better football from the first minute to 90 instead of playing anti-football for most of the match and gaining a win out of it. Again, game management, very, very good. And the thing that changed it for me about the Sutton match was the 2 substitutes. And it's 2 homegrown, 3 substitutes technically. 2 of them homegrown lads. Unga Kulea just signed his first professional deal or a 2-year deal last week. And he comes on as part of the winning move for the winning goal. Kieran Agard didn't score for months. I think he last scored at the end of 2021, and he scores his first goal in that period of time to win us the game and comes off the bench. And then Bobby Faulkner. Remember the name, guys. Bobby Faulkner. 18 years old, proper old school centre back, and he was linked to some good academies at Premier League and Championship clubs at 18 years old. He's got serious talent. I know he didn't play in the Sutton game, but Liam Ravenhill, even in those few minutes with that strong challenge on Osadebe, he is seriously a good youngster, and there's no wonder why a year or two ago he was being linked to Premier League clubs and Championship clubs for moves, and he stayed with us. He loves Doncaster. Bobby Faulkner loves Doncaster. Kulea was a free agent. He was so impressive in that game, that in the couple of games that he played, in the academy games that he played before he got injured. He was being rumoured for a lot of clubs, but he's supposed to come back on the senior team on a 2-year professional deal because he loves Doncaster. We've got a serious, proper shithousery squad now. We're bringing back some of that shithousery from Grant McCann days in 2019 when we were in the playoff semi-final in League One. And we've come up with a squad that, in my opinion, has more passion, more bottle. The manager, on that Sutton game when we scored the winning goal, he did a Jose Mourinho run down the touchline, and a fan jumped over, hugged with the manager, jumped around with the staff, and didn't get banned for it because the manager said, if you get banned for it, I'll tell him you're not banned, because the manager loves this club and loves the fans. That's the kind of manager we need. This is his first full season as a manager, Gary McSheffrey. And our old chairman, John Ryan, praised him. Paul Warne, the Rotherham manager, rates Gary McSheffrey as a future manager. We've got a serious long-term manager on our hands. He's put together a squad with proper game management compared to last season under Richie Wellens. And Gary McSheffrey, for me, has built a squad that, yes, isn't playing the best football, but we played good football in pre-season with the best players that we've got. For me, I feel like if we keep play better football, just slightly better football, but we keep the game management that we've had the past couple of games, we've got a serious promotion squad in our hands and going forward into League One next season. From the first 2 games, you know, it's not the best football we've played, is it? No. But if it gets a point or 3 points out of nothing, when we could have literally, last season we'd have lost those 2 games by 3 or 4-0. But this season we gained 4 points out of 6, when last season it could have been 0. I'm more than happy with that. It may not be the best football ever, but with the game management and the way we see games out and the way we hang on in there and we never give up and we grit and we determine, it's progress. It's definitely progress. For the first 6 months, of the season, it's about how many points you can get. Then the last 6 months, it's looking ahead to where you can finish and try and aim for. So even if we play crap for the first 6 months of the season, but we gain the most amount of points, that's great, because it means we'll be in the hunt for automatic promotion. So let's just see how many points we get for the first 6 months, first of all, and see where we are around January.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, just keep winning games.
Exactly. I'm happy with the business. The board has backed the manager. We've changed the football structure. James frickin' Coppinger is a legend off the pitch as well as on it now. He's the new head of football operations. He's completely gone into that club and said, owners, you're not making the football decisions now. You're not football men. I'm making the decisions. And he's gone in and turned that club upside down for the better. So I'm confident that the way it's being run now.
Happy days, happy days. Wow, what a great start for Donny then. Happy days there.
Much better than last season. Much better.
Right. I did want to speak to some Arsenal fans yesterday, but they didn't make it onto our match reaction. But, you know, it is what it is. But we have 3. We have 3. Manny, obviously, I think it's the first time on the show, actually. Or second?
First time, mate. I mean, you came on Stephen Featley's show and had a bit of a chin with us. And I thought I'd just come and show some support to you. Saw you were live. I thought I'd hop on. So thank you for having me.
No problems. We're here. Well, every Sunday. We try our best to be here every Sunday and just chop it up about the weekend's results and stuff. But what's your take on your performance?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, first of all, let me just say that if you are an Arsenal fan on Twitter and you are Arteta out or sort of at least sort of on the fence with regard to him, I'll tell you that place is toxic as hell. You make an honest opinion about the game and what could have been done better, and you've got some people swarming all over you like, what can I say, piranha over a piece of meat or whatever. So here's the thing. First half, I loved our urgency, our sense of purpose, and how he had the team set up. I was thinking that he would have, he would have used a 4-2-3-1. It ended up becoming more or less of a 4-3-3. And that formation worked quite well. I did like the way Odegaard and Xhaka.
Sorry, Manny. Sorry to cut you, but this comment has killed me. Anyway, hello. Big up for jumping in the stream, by the way. And you're trying battle right at 99 as we speak. It's unbelievable. CM has bitten. Said hello, goodbye. Anyway, hello if you're new, subscribe if you're new. Smash the like button, share the screen. Manny, back to you. Sorry.
Well, the only question I have for that is who says goodbye and who says hello? Hello. I don't know why he said goodbye. We say hello, whatever. Now, so we had some urgency, and obviously the goal which we scored was, a result of some real footballing intelligence, because instead of trying to head towards the goal, Zinchenko had the sense to sort of ping it, if you will, into that melee in the penalty area. And I loved how Gabriel Martinelli was able to have the sense to sort of head it back across Guaita, who was going to his left. He headed it back across Guaita's right, and so the poor bloke got a fingertip to it but couldn't keep it out. And so we maintained that for most of the first half, although I had to give you boys credit. You did come back at us on the counter, and you had a few chances. I do believe it was Edouard who forced Ramsdale into a decent save, and there was another save he made in the second half. I think it was from Eze, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, spot on them both.
Eze should have done a lot better.
They both should have scored. Period.
Yeah.
Not like I've said it time and time again. I don't think we would have won or deserved to win, but you've got to take the chances you create, because we're not going to.
So I'll take it. There's obviously a lot of room for improvement, because you can't have situations where you play someone like Ben White as a sort of a makeshift centre back / right back, and having poor Bukayo Saka having him tracking back to try to cover him. Invariably, it was Saliba who was covering Ben White, and Saliba was absolute quality. And yet, you just feel as though Arteta doesn't really trust him in many ways, and still doesn't quite know how to get the best out of him. We'll see how things progress as the season goes on. I hope he will, keep at it and keep doing well. And if Tomiyasu comes back, then Ben White will be benched. I'm certain of it. We could have done a few things better. We shouldn't have allowed the game to drift a little bit. And certainly when poor Guehi scored that own goal, I thought that was really, really, really harsh in many ways, because you were all over us at points in the game like a bad rash. And, that sort of broke momentum a little bit, and then we were able to see out the game fairly comfortably enough. I'm happy with the win. I'm happy with the overall performance, but there were a few things on which we could improve. Hopefully the team selection will improve when more players come back from injury, and it's looking okay. But look, first match week, no room for any kind of high expectations or getting gassed up, as people would say. Just take it as it comes. It's simple as that. And I still think your team will do really well under Vieira. I think it's a well-drilled unit. Hopefully your strikers won't get cold feet when they're in the penalty area.
Yeah, to be fair, I watched the game over, and at first I was annoyed, but then I took a lot of positives, actually. Considering we had a split squad during pre-season, so it's not I would say fitness and preparation as a unit, not the best. Not ideal at all. But it is what it is. We've got a tough game against Liverpool Monday week, and Fulham have given us the blueprint. So we need to just press them to death. Graham, your thoughts?
Yeah, listen, I'm happy to get the win. I didn't think we would, but I think the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, we were really, really good. We took it to you. We had you on toast, if they say. We could have got a couple. We should have got a couple. But Arteta got the goal, and he does what he normally does. He starts to sit back and play a tactic is where we let the pressure come on. Don't get me wrong, you're a good side and you played well when you needed to. But I think we really should have put that to bed after that first goal. The second goal came out of nowhere, a bit harsh on you lot. We played okay. I'm not getting carried away. I think Saliba was the main guy, and probably Jesus. I don't think anyone else was particularly amazing. Ramsdale made a couple of decent saves, but again, we've already said both players should have done better. but it's what you need. You need to start winning games and not playing well. I think I said that on T's channel the other week. Sometimes it's not about winning, about playing well. It's about winning. And Palace are a good side. I'm a big fan of you guys. I know you got some good cracking players, and I think Eze will get into that role what Gallagher had last year. So yeah. So yeah, so it was a good win, and I'm happy, but I'm not getting carried away. I am one of them fans, you know me by now. I'm sort of on the fence. I still don't really know what to think of Arteta. He does a lot wrong, but he does do stuff right. He got the selection right. He made the substitutions at the right time. I think you could see a few players were starting to struggle, and he brought a couple of experienced players on. Tierney came on for that last 10 minutes. Shevchenko, even though he's a good player, defensively he maybe been waning as well. Ben White, I don't think he was as bad as what people are making out. I don't think he was amazing. I think Zaha at times looked phenomenal. I think Zaha does not get the credit he deserves. That man, when he's just on it, he just looks electric. If he could get it, if he was able to shine in the side like Man City, I tell you what, he would do the same. He's a great player, and I think he'll do the same for you this year. But yeah, you lot shouldn't be worried. I think I like to think you'll try and get a point, but I think you will lose Liverpool, especially how they drawn against Fulham. But you get these 2 games out of the way and you move on. But Arsenal, I'm really happy. Obviously, one thing I will say, I've been on a couple of shows with Manny, and I absolutely love Manny's voice. It's the most smoothest voice in the world. He could call me a cunt and I'd still smile and laugh.
You do realise, Graham, that I would never ever do that to you. Never.
But yeah. It's a great win, not getting carried away. I still think it'll be a hard season, but there was bright sparks. Jesus looked sharp, Saliba, and yeah, so I'm happy. It was just good to see Man United win. And just quickly on Man United, they're never going to do anything with Freddie McTominay in that midfield. That's it. That's all they need to say about Man United. Yeah. Unless they move
we're going to get onto that 100%. Absolutely. T, obviously I spoke to you after the game, to be fair, and stuff. Is there anything different that you've seen, maybe looking back over it?
Do you know what? It's been an interesting one, because looking back at it, I've just appreciated it even more in how the game is going to a hostile place like Crystal Palace, settling down the crowd, and getting you guys a bit nervous at the start with how we're playing. That's the perfect way you want to enter as an away side. We have to remember how difficult Crystal Palace is going to be. Even if you do perform like that, and you weren't great, I still expect you to pick up plenty more points against opposition that you probably wouldn't even be expected to beat. But it's going to be a difficult place, Selhurst Park, this season. So I do have to appreciate how we performed, winning when you're not playing well. Let's be honest. we've watched all the games now. The weekend's finished. Was there anyone that really shone and was really excellent? Spurs had a good game, but Southampton was shocking. Manchester City, they dominated, but they still weren't there at their physical peak, at their best going forward. Bournemouth, they were good, but even Villa dominated the game at some points if you followed it throughout. So yeah, when it comes to attack, I think a lot of teams are going to be at this stage. It's not going to be at the most sharp or the most clinical, because that's where you need to be at your most sharpest and get used to the Premier League intensity. And when your legs are beginning to tire after fast, intense starts, it's going to be difficult. So I am happy with it, and it's a perfect foundation to build on. Away from home, guys, we have to remember as Arsenal fans, it wasn't very long ago we couldn't win a game away from home. We have to remember that, and the fact that we're winning and keeping clean sheets, even in games that we're not even performing at our best, that's what the best teams do. I remember seeing Liverpool turn up to Crystal Palace. Yeah, they weren't good. Liverpool were getting literally battered from pillar to post at points in that game, but still picked up the win. Of course, some dodgy refereeing decisions was a factor, but it's all about taking...
We don't need to go back there.
Yeah.
It's a new season.
Palace have become a bogey team, so to get a win over them, however you get it, it's great. It was completely right. Just get the win, and that's what we did.
They're going to be most teams, bogey teams. They're Manchester City. So it's mad.
Sorry, I just left this comment up. Hello. First question. Hello. Are you a Barcelona fan from Spain or from the UK, let us know. Number 2, I wouldn't mind you coming on and just talking about your club, because the financial fraud that you let us in is kind of crazy, and it'll be very interesting to hear your viewpoints on that.
We've got a better financial record than Barcelona, and we're in League bloody 2.
It is crazy.
We made profit in COVID year, and they've got millions in debt now.
This is it. They say that Salah died. Yeah, Xhaka's one was bad.
Hey, so Eze loves a little bit of a dive as well, by the way.
A little clip, a little small clip. Took him off his momentum.
Just a little.
Granit Xhaka still moving like Limp Biscuit, rolling, keep rolling.
Still even made a clean tackle, and then Zaha's there moaning.
I'm not gonna lie.
Clean tackle,
With a few minutes
Tariq.
to
Have
go
you seen Granit Xhaka lately? The man loves gravity so much he keeps falling over.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. A few minutes to go at match when I think it was when Odegaard came off and he gave Xhaka the captain's armband, I was like, oh god, is Palace gonna steal a comeback here? Now Xhaka's in charge. Is Xhaka gonna fail it again?
Xhaka disrespect. I don't like it, man.
Bad. Vibe saying here, bruv, your owner sending the squad to the soup kitchen for free lunch. I think that's referring to Barcelona. Leavers and Shalah.
I heard that Barcelona's owner's called Rodney. And Del
Probably
Boy
is.
German.
Probably is. Trust me. Big up Chilo in the car. OP1, my guy.
Big up, man.
They say, give it a rest.
Where are
yo.
you, mate? You're in the corner.
How's Friday?
Sorry, Graham, did you win the league on Friday? Because that's how you lot are coming across.
Oh, I'm coming across like
Palace
that.
for the first time in 9 attempts.
Oh, mate,
Like Palace.
mate.
Like Palace. It's very
Tariq,
confidential.
what did you think of Granit Xhaka on Friday?
He was very good, I thought. He was one of our better midfielders, one of our better players as well, especially going forward. He was definitely one of our better players, and that's saying something. And that's because I didn't think our key attackers were that great. Granit Xhaka was good, man. He was very good.
I think we all know that this for the opening weekend, we know that the United squad has to take L of the week. But I think
Shut up, at least we're in the Premier League, man, not League 5 or 2.
but
No!
the fact
I finished earlier. No.
the fact that the team with the B words came out and said the city is blue, just like the B team, the city is blue.
Aaron, we have lifted the Brighton ban. You can say it.
Oh, you've lifted it. I was so
You've lifted
careful about it.
I appreciate that.
Right.
Really?
Literally, Brighton fans were singing just like Brighton, the city is blue. Like,
Sorry, Aaron,
as
one
brand
second.
new fans, you have to
Aaron.
take an L on that. A
Aaron,
massive
1
L.
second. The words Brighton fans and singing is an oxymoron. Don't include the half Chelsea fans, half Liverpool fans. Be careful.
Listen, one second. I just want to obviously send a shout out to, and I'm going to hopefully get this right. Will Rally Sport. Rally, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Apologies if I haven't. He said he's just found the channel, so appreciate you. Ramsey scored first minute for Nice. Decent. Hopefully he can stay fit, and he subbed as well. So if that's your channel as well, by the way, Will Rally Sport. Guys, just type that in. Make sure you sub as well. He's an Arsenal fan as well. And a lot of people upset, man.
Not even upset, man. I just have to get on my depression pills again.
Maybe it's not that bad.
Oh,
Mate, I think I was-
It is that bad. It's fucking hilarious as well.
It's beautiful.
This
20
dude earlier
years
said
of
we
listening to
spent,
them go
we spent
on and
60
on.
million on a midget and then getting rejected by the end. That's how it feels, man. That's how really it feels.
How is McFred still the midfield? 3
Exactly,
years
man.
later?
Guys, can we wait and talk about United at the end? Because that's the main event.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
working my way up.
When
We're
we're
doing
losing,
Keep
we're always
doing that.
good stuff.
Please fucking
We're
do
always-
it.
Let's wrap up with Luca and Arsenal. Then we'll talk to Hanif about Chelsea, and then we'll move on to United because Yeah, I'm sure everyone's got a lot to say.
I'm not here for Arsenal.
When you see that fan protest, you know something's big.
Luca,
Just saying.
what was your thoughts on Friday, Luca?
To be honest, I thought first 20 minutes we were all over you. I thought we played really, really well against Palace in the first 20 minutes. I think towards the end of the first half, you actually started to pick up. You gave us a bit of a game. I do admit, you Palace fans were not happy about the referee. Anthony Taylor loves Arsenal, but no, for me, I think Odegaard didn't do well. I thought Odegaard was very poor. And for me, he was the captain.
You're the first Arsenal fan I've heard say that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, to be honest.
It's interesting. Huh? No, but continue. Everyone's got entitled to talk.
Yeah, I thought our best players on that night was Ramsdale, Saliba, Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli and Zinchenko. I thought them lot were the best players on the pitch. I didn't think Xhaka didn't have a good game, in my opinion. I thought, well, he wasn't too bad, but I just felt with Xhaka, I just felt like at times he was a bit clumsy, getting these yellow cards and all that. Partey, for me, he wasn't himself. He wasn't himself.
Why was he allowed to play, though?
He wasn't himself. And for me, second half, I do think Palace did deserve a goal, but overall we deserved the win and we played really well. And like Zinchenko, I think he's going to be a decent signing. But the only thing we kind of lacked was obviously every time when a player comes forward to Zinchenko, he never closed the man down the first time. But I'm sure Arteta is going to work on that. I'm sure he's going to do it well. And for me, I like Zinchenko, and I thought Gabriel Jesus was decent. He should have scored right in the game. And it was a win for us. And for me, I'm liking the team at the moment. It's looking good. I just feel we need to add a few more additions. If we can try and get Tillemans, because we've got Leicester next week.
Luca, sorry, 1 second. Al said he needs to go. I'll quickly shout out your channel, mate.
Yeah. So obviously, I run the channel. It's now just called Chal. I am the CHALL. So loads of sports content on there. Just put up some great British Basketball League content, NBA content as well. Ice hockey is going to get back into it as well. Doncaster Rovers is my club. Next season will be the 20th year since my first Manchester Rovers fan. So it's the 145th anniversary of the club in a couple of years as well, so next year or two. So, big years ahead, hopefully, and some great content coming the way. We've got some great guests for the Matchday launch show. A coach from a top European club and an analyst from a different European club. So stay tuned for them. But yeah, next Matchday launch show coming tomorrow, and hopefully we get over Lincoln in the Carabao Cup and start our cup run off on the right foot. So, yeah, thank you very much. New season. Let's do this.
Wicked. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Cool. I can see someone's trying to get in the chat. Hopefully they just try again. That stuff could obviously we could only hold 10. There we go.
Rich,
I think it's James.
what do you think of Arsenal on Friday?
First 20 was superb. First 20, honestly, I looked at the people around me. I was like, all right, we can get better at it and stuff. Just 1 second. How you doing, James? You right?
Yeah.
I had a good win for Bournemouth as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just as a disclaimer, guys, James is non-verbal, so just a bit of patience with him and stuff. What he tends to do, like if we ask him a question, he'll type an answer in the private chat and stuff, and then we'll just relay that and stuff. James, type in who you thought your best player was yesterday. Okay? Cheers. Sorry, Luke, I completely cut you, didn't I?
Yeah, that's fine.
That was it. Yeah, you finish off, then I'll talk about Arsenal.
But no, what did you think of like the game overall on Friday?
So that was the question you asked me. Sorry. Yeah. So like I said, after the first 20, I felt we grew into the game. I feel our biggest joy came from Anderson looking like a variety of passes all over the pitch. he was unbelievable. You know, like in our match reaction yesterday, like it's crazy to give a losing side a 10, but he had a 10 performance. He was that good. You know, he was everywhere and he was pivotal to everything we did. Once again, I think we've said it so many times. We deserved to score a goal. We should have scored. Whether we would have gone on to win, I don't know. Whether we would have held a draw, I don't know. We could have still lost the game, but we've got to put our chances away. That's got nothing to do with Arsenal. That's us. That's on us. We had to put our chances away, and we didn't. When you're playing against the so-called top sides, you get about 3 chances a game. Against look at West Ham today. I think they had 1 chance. Yeah. Declan Rice skying it over. I believe so. There may be and I think Skabaka had a header which was offside. But it just shows against the top sides, you don't get many chances. So when you do get clear cuts, we have to take them. And that was the most frustrating part.
Do you think the referee? Because I noticed when I was at the end of the game.
Oh, the referee was terrible.
It was.
Yeah, I do admit that the referee was terrible.
He was bad. And you know what? I'll say he was bad all round. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say. I mean, it was just weird because some of the fouls he was giving to you guys, we weren't getting the same thing. And then I know we put in some heavy challenges. And
then Jesus, on Jesus, and you weren't given a foul and that.
Yeah, it was just bad. Period. You know. Hanif, Chelsea.
Evening. How we doing?
All good. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I've been reffing all day, so I've been doing ladies football all day. Oh my God, my legs have gone. But yeah, Chelsea. Listen, the result was the most important thing that we could get out of it. Performance, it was all right. Good to see Sterling out there. Should have scored, in my opinion. Ben Chilwell won the penalty for us and Jorginho put it away. But Everton, like Crystal Palace, had their big moment. They had 2 big moments, and when you have big moments against big sides, you've got to take advantage. I was very happy with Koulibaly. You talk about Saliba. Listen, he's got nothing on Koulibaly. Nothing. The guy's average at best.
All right, that's the hot take of the season. We've got it here now. Saliba versus Koulibaly.
Tariq, you're forgetting Koulibaly's been one of the best centre backs in Europe for the past 5 seasons.
I must bear that
in mind. What have Arsenal won?
Last 5 seasons, won FA Cup, bro. He's saying
we've won Champions League. So
yeah,
what?
No, I'm talking about Koulibaly. It's that moving the goalpost.
All right, so a defender. Listen, defenders don't win you prizes. We all know that.
I think the famous quote says, "Attackers win your matches, defenders win your championships." That's what.
Which championships have you won though?
No, I'm
20 years.
not talking about
20 years, Tariq. 20 years.
Oh, you see.
Yeah, and I'm saying he's better than Saliba.
No.
That was just to trigger you, by the way. Anyway, but listen, look, I think we're very fortunate yesterday. We weren't great. We need a lot. We need an attacking threat. I just don't think from an attacking point of view we've improved, in my opinion. I think defensively we're solid as ever, but I just think when we lose Kante, I think we're going to lose a lot. And seeing Jorginho in the centre of midfield scares the hell out of me, and I know it scares the hell of a lot of Chelsea fans. But listen,
and just quickly, I know you said that you're trying to get a bite out of Tariq, but you know what? The chat's agree with you, so. Look, first I've heard him speaking sense.
Listen, look, I think Saliba had a good game. I watched him a couple of times last season. I think he's a good centre back, but Arsenal fans, unfortunately, are going way overboard. But you know, they're allowed to enjoy themselves. Tariq, I'm with you. Oh, by the way, Tariq, I was listening to your Man City and West Ham watch along. You said you were 3 players away from challenging. Just remember, you said that, not me.
Yeah.
You were 3 players. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Tariq.
3 players.
You're retired. You're crazy, Tariq, but I'll still love you.
Oh, the Arsenal-Chelsea rivalry
I have to pop in here now. I actually sort of agree with Penny. I do think, listen, Saliba looks like a great talent, but we haven't seen enough for him yet. So let's not get carried away. Koulibaly is a great player. See if we can do it in the Prem. Right now, Koulibaly is better than Saliba because he's been playing longer. So that's a fair comment. But I think Saliba's got potential. Fair comment. I'm not too triggered by that. I think that's a fair comment. I still think Saliba's great. One game,
I thought
so
Gabriel was a lot really good actually. Like, a lot better than I thought.
Cool. Just quickly, I just want to address some of the comments that James has typed in. So he said Lewis Cook was his man of the match, you're gonna do a Man City Bournemouth watch along. I think everyone knows who's going to be the FPL captain next week. I'm sorry. But no, James, Bournemouth, that's a very good win. Very, very
37 more points, mate. You'll be there.
That's it. Big up. Big win.
Big win. Hanif.
Yeah.
Gallagher. Did Tuchel need to put him on?
Listen, who knows what he does half the time, but I'm not allowed to question the great Thomas Tuchel when we win. All right, I am not allowed to question it. You know this, Rich. You know this. I can't say nothing. When we're winning, I shut up. No, he didn't.
Hanif, you know my platform's an open space to vent. Feel free.
Listen, Rich. We played crap football, bro. We had the possession, but we couldn't create enough. I'm sorry. We couldn't create enough. We needed... Ziyech had to play that game, but listen, look, it is what it is. Tuchel picks the team, and when you're winning, you can't question it. I don't understand what Kai Havertz offers the team. I just don't think it works. I don't think the formation works for him, but that's just my opinion. Did Gallagher need to come on? No, he didn't. But I think he wants to ease him into the team, and I think we're going to see a lot of Gallagher come once the Champions League starts, because once the games start rolling in, because we're gonna need him. Because Kante's not going to stay fully fit. Yeah, we're going to need the full squad, yeah.
Hanif, what do you think of Broja?
I like Broja, mate. I'm willing to be patient with Broja, but I don't know if... It depends on what happens up until January, whether we can get the best out of him. He's going to get chances, and I just don't think we're going to create the amount of chances he needs to score.
Oh, my...
Vibes.
Oh my god!
Wow. Vibes, man.
Did you see him on top of the ball?
Vibes is a menace in that chat.
Rich, this is what happens to Vibes when Manchester United lose. God help him.
This is why
man.
Channel. You get comments like
I didn't. We'll get to the United game. I didn't watch it, but you
saved yourself an hour and a half of your life.
Trust me, big up Edna. When does the season start again? Sorry, sis.
It's already started, mate.
It's already started.
To be fair, both you and we were in the L column.
But Rich, I will say one thing. I think we were very fortunate. You know, when Everton lost their defender.
Yes.
That changed the game. That changed the game because he was Everton. I didn't think we troubled them enough until he got injured, and I thought that changed for me. That changed Everton's whole game plan, and I just thought, you know what, we're on top of them now, and then we're eventually going to score. But if he hadn't got injured, it would have been very interesting. I thought Mendy was a bit off with one of his saves. I was like, freaking out, what are you doing, lad? But
yeah. Question for you. For how long will Shai Havertz be Shai in front goal?
Probably a long time.
Well, you don't think Kai Havertz is not that good then?
I think he's good. I just don't think the system will. The thing about Chelsea is we play a style of football where we're hard to beat. You know, when we play like Arsenal, and we've not got a good record against Arsenal. When we play like the top clubs, we play tough to beat. That's just the way we play. We're not a team that grinds out chances after chance after chance after chance.
Menace.
No, you're right. You know, when United lose, Vibes goes hill. Like
Vibes is always going hill.
No, but he's worse. He's worse when United lose.
Has anyone checked up on Realist just to make sure he's all right?
He's probably switching. He's still swearing now, probably.
Yeah, we do. Chelsea still have Batshuayi. Yeah, we still do.
And Barkley as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I think so. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. We don't have drink water anymore. What do you think about Fofana? Your lion attack. Well, listen, we believe in a strong defense. We've got a great defense. We just not got a great attack. That's just the way we are. We're hard to beat.
But win's a win, though. If you take that 1-0, I know it wasn't a great performance. I know
listen, it's first game of the season. If you look at our preseason, it was shocking. You know, Arsenal won the Mickey Mouse Cup against us. So you know, ultimately, I'll take it. 3 points in the bag.
Cool. Right, I think it's time. We'll leave the last bit.
Let's have a laugh.
United 1, Brighton 2. Now I'm ticked off for obvious reasons.
Me too.
We haven't even got a United fan on right now. They're all gone.
Yeah, they're in the chat.
Before you guys, can someone explain what happened in the game? Like, give me a bit of context. I don't exactly know. Like,
So Man United.
Standard Man United.
Brighton should have won that game 3-1. They should have had a penalty in that game from Danny Welbeck. I don't know how that was.
Yeah.
And for me, the problem with Man United is people complain and say, like you're going to have Man United and Arsenal fan base like together are going to be like, oh, they want the manager out and all that. It's not Ten Hag's fault.
It's not.
It's the Glazers. And funny enough is that the Glazers were actually at the game, which I was quite surprised. Whereas the Conkies never come to our game. So
Jefferson.
I think where Man United is, it's the players. The players are not listening to Ten Hag. And you can't have a repeat thing what happened to Ralph Rangnick last season. How much I would love Man United to have a repeat of last season. That would be great. But the thing is, they haven't got and addressed some of their issues. They still need a defensive midfielder, right? Is this Sandro Martinez good? That's remains to be seen. They still need a proper right back, and they need to sort their positions out because the way Man United are looking at the moment, it's only the first game of the season, but they've got Liverpool after Brentford, and if Man United don't beat Brentford, then they've got Liverpool to play on the Monday night in a couple of weeks. You ain't gonna go through the first 2 games under Ten Hag. You're gonna be really under pressure.
The thing about Man United, I thought that they were going to have a big switch around, and for me, Man United needed a winger, a striker, 2 centre mids, and a right back. They ended up buying an attacking centre mid, a centre back, and a left back. I don't get that. The recruitment for me has been backwards. I'm not saying they're bad players, but it's not what they needed. And when you start McTominay, who's as slow as a Corsa, and Fred, who's got the personality of a flatbread, you've got no opportunity. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing about them. They're not going to do anything with them in the middle. So it isn't Ten Hag's fault. And then you've got Ronaldo. Ronaldo's acting like Manchester Mania, a baby. So, I mean...
Man just lost the chat and just...
No, I all love Manchester Mania, but I wanted him to be here. I wanted him to take it like a man, but he's fucked off. No, but seriously, Man United though, let's see how they get on, because it's only 1 game. If they get a few players in, it's very similar to Chelsea. Chelsea are active in the market. That's why I think they'll be all right this year. That's why I think they'll finish 3rd or 4th. If Man United sort their positions out, then they'll be all right. It's 1 game.
Yeah, Man United hilarious. Right. I think they'll.
But I fucking hate Brighton just as much as Rich and Nate. I can't stand the team. I can't stand Brighton.
And Henry, by the way.
Lose.
I hate them too. And Henry,
the game was a lose. Whoever lost, hilarious.
Graham Potter. That's why he shaved the beard off. That's why he shaved the beard off, people.
Graham Potter. It's like if Arteta gets sacked at the end of the season, if we don't get top 4, right? Then Graham Potter would be an ideal good for Arsenal.
No.
Luke is speaking sense.
No.
No, I'm being serious. Graham Potter.
Go on, Luke. Luke, go on.
The reason why, I'll tell you the reason why, then you lot can explain, right? The reason why Graham Potter, look what he's done. Yeah? He could be a future England manager. He's better than Gareth Southgate.
Yeah.
And for me, Potter, you look at the style of play. We beat Tottenham last season, right? Away. Right?
Slap horse.
They slapped us, right? We only got a point out of the both games, right? They slapped Manchester United 4-0. They beat Manchester United today, so they're 2-0 over Man United, right? So Brighton know how to get results against the big teams. It's the teams where they expect to win, it doesn't work out. Graham Potter, right, would be a decent manager. I understand people might say, oh yeah, the job might be too big for him. He hasn't gone to someone like one of the big six, like, to actually prove himself. But I think what Graham Potter's done, what he done today is good. Yeah, it's only the first game of the season. Yeah, okay, Brighton have lost the likes of Zuma and that. But Brighton has still actually done well. And I like the style of play of Graham Potter.
You're saying the word Brighton so much I want to throw up.
Can I say I think no matter the result this World Cup, I think they'll actually consider Potter for an England job.
I think he's decent.
Why though? Like, what's Southgate done wrong? He got to a semi-final and then a final.
Probably down Southgate is his favourite wannabe players.
Yeah.
It starts Harry Maguire.
There's a lot he does wrong, to be honest. He's a bit too. He has his favourites, and it's to the detriment of the team.
I don't get it. Like no other England manager has done as well as he has.
Protective and safe.
No, but Henry, when you look back,
you can't argue with it.
When you look back at the teams they've played in the course of both tournaments, they haven't actually played anyone decent.
1-0 up against Italy after 2 minutes.
I don't agree with
Italy were there for the taking. A better manager, we would have won 3-0. We would have won 3-0 easy. He
was not defensive. Graham, I lie. Well, that was not a good Italy team.
No.
They weren't that good. And England should have smashed that. The fact is he went defensive. You know, it's just he fucked up. He's done something. He's done something no one else has done.
If you look at his record,
look who they beat.
It's really good. And
you know what?
The thing is with Gareth Southgate is that every time, like that final against Italy, England should have won that. And every time when England play against Italy, England never beat Italy for some reason. So for me, I'm looking at it and thinking Southgate. The problem with Gareth Southgate is that he may have got to the semi-final of the World Cup. But think about the opponent who England got. Think about
World Cup. People forget Colombia were good back then. Like they were the resurgent team. Like they had Rodriguez.
For Arsenal, Gareth Southgate would be a good future manager, I reckon.
No, we're touching with a 10-foot pole. And here's the thing:
I wouldn't want Southgate as Palace manager.
Arteta's better than Southgate.
Oh, no chance.
No. And here's the thing about Gareth Potter. You know, he would be.
Sorry to cut you. I'm going to come back to you. It's just because Graham said he's got to go. Graham, just give your channel a shout out.
Yeah, big up Daddy Nadon YouTube channel, obviously Instagram, Twitter. I've been on it loads of times now. T, Hanif, and Rich have all been on my show before, and I've been on shows with Manny. So if you're not already subscribed, Daddy Nadon. I'm on holiday now for a few weeks, so Phil will be taking over the channel. So expect fuck all to be released. Yeah, he just comments on Rich's videos. Anyway, big up the channel, and I'll see you lot soon. Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Have a good time.
A legend.
And Manny, I absolutely love your voice. It's so smooth. Manny Attenborough.
Okay, Rich, get him out of here before they get us cancelled.
Yeah. He's gone. Yeah. So here's the thing about Graham Potter. Yeah. So the thing about Potter is that, you know, before he came to Brighton, he obviously had some experience working in the Danish league. I think it was with Osterlands, I think it was the team. So that was before he came. So he actually would have been a decent shout for us at the time. Although, having said that, he might have been a bit of an unknown entity.
So was Arsene Wenger.
No, he did have some work with Japan and Grandpa Satan. Reading about him and his methods, I mean, I knew that although it might have looked like a left field appointment, you know, it was something that we probably would have needed for following the whole kerfluffle with George Graham and so forth. And even Bruce Reed he underachieved, although we're grateful to him for giving us Dennis Bergkamp. But I actually think that Potter would feel a lot more comfortable in club football. He'd definitely be an option for Arsenal because he'd introduce a little bit more in terms of pragmatism in our game. And I think that's been sorely lacking for several years. We seem to still be under this illusion that we need to play some really silky, attractive football. And yet we don't seem to have that kind of toughness to be able to close out some games, or also be able to keep out foot on the jugular, if you will. From what I've seen of Potter, I think their pressing really hurt Manchester United today, and they're the type of team who also won't give up leads very, very quickly. And even if they do have some bad games, it's generally an off day, but generally he's got them playing a decent style. I think he'd really bring some steel into our team, and he certainly can't be a worse manager than the Spaniard, who is not the best-looking Spaniard I know. Personally, I like Cesc Fabregas a lot better. Even Reyes was also a bit dishy.
Everyone's sending for Realist now. He's here. Realist, I hope you're good, my bro. I hope you're good. You know what? I was going to wrap up on a question to do with Steven Gerrard. But before I do that, because CM jumped in, he can give us the Manchester United perspective.
Here we go.
Big up, CM.
Big up yourself, Annie, Tariq, Nate, Manny, Luca, Rich, Henry. It was bad today. It was bad, and
real bad.
A lot of the time, there's two of me, innit? I'm the more neutral one, the more calculated one. But today, it's the first game of the season, but that's literally all we have going. I think today, I looked at some of the best little small areas of performances in pre-season, and where certain things.
I told you Vibes was on it, bro. The minute United lost, Vibes was saying for any man that he gets.
Sorry,
Hey, I looked at certain areas where the performances were all right in pre-season, and the biggest kind of concern was the fact that the team went completely away from that in this game. The team looked completely disjointed. They weren't together. It was a situation where there was they couldn't string 5 passes together continuously. They just didn't know what they were doing on the pitch. And one thing that a lot of people don't really speak about when it comes to this team is the intensity of their passing, because they lack confidence in that department. See, when you're confident, you have the ability to pass the ball, whether it's short range, long range. That shows with the way you almost execute that pass. With Manchester United, it's a lot of lackadaisical, slow passes, and just lacking confidence as a whole. And there was a moment in the game where, for example, David De Gea passed it out to Fred, who was running into the box to receive the ball. That pass was very slow, very lackadaisical. So Brighton were able to trigger the press. Once Fred got onto the ball, then he tried a first-time ball round his shoulder. Didn't really look who was there. Didn't, failed to scan who was coming up. So by then, Brighton already triggered the press, and they were able to intercept the ball. Boom. And you create chances from there. So if you're passing the ball slow, if you don't have the basic ability to scan the area and understand where certain players are, and understand that maybe I'm going to have to pass the ball a little harder here to avoid putting my player under pressure, we're going to struggle. And that is what Manchester United struggle to do, because they're just not able to pass the ball with confidence. A lot of the time we lose possession so quickly. And you think about it, we're at home. I watched the Manchester City game. They dominated that game away from home. And of course, they are a gulf in class to Manchester United. But if that is the area where Manchester United want to be in 3 to 4 years' time, they're going to have to look at those kind of teams and understand the errors that they're making from here for the rest of this season, next season, even last season. You can't just brush that aside and say, oh, it's time to start afresh, because that is how you become delusional. That is how you don't understand the errors you're making and continue to make those same errors. And that is the Manchester United team we've seen, not just for the start of this season, the whole of last season, the season before. And it's not going to change unless we get the personnel or some of the players that are already existing within the team learn how to play football the right way in this modern era.
You need to get the
really...
Glazers out.
Sorry?
You need to get the Glazers out as well.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, you know, one of the most important things for this season is keeping that focus on the board and the ownership, because, you know, the board, especially early on when there was a lot of, you know, transfer rumors and stuff like that, it's almost like, you know, they were given a little bly and people were talking about Myrtle Madness and stuff like that. When now we're close to the transfer window closing, and it's clear that the majority of the fans are not happy with the business that's been done. And almost this game has proved it even more, to the point where there's a sense of panic coming into the fan base. And no doubt that will start filtering through the club, a sense of panic where then you get certain leaks like the club are bidding for guys like Marko Arnautovic to get an alternative option at the forward line because there'd be a good personality in the dressing room.
That's
you know,
it's CM. I just wanted to ask you, mate. Do you think? Well, do you think one of the reasons why he put that particular team out, especially with McFred in the middle, is to highlight the issues to the board and say, listen, I want De Jong, you need to get that over the line?
You know what? It's hard to say something like that because you never really understand what's going on in it. I feel like a huge reason why that team persists to play is because we have a lack of options. You know, looking at McFred, we can complain all we want, but who are we going to replace those two players with because I look at our back four today: Maguire, Martinez, Luke Shaw, and Delon. And I'm going to kind of leave Martinez out of this for now. But for the most part, even if you slide in a Varane, all fragile defenders who have shown that they lack the physicality to compete at a high level. So then you need to put two players in front of them to protect the centre-backs and at times cover for the full-backs. Those two midfielders have also failed in those positions miserably. You look at Scott McTominay, you know, he's supposed to be able to be that guy who can receive the ball and pass it forward. You know, Fred. Literally, like Fred, he's probably the most inconsistent guy in the end of the day because he may have a good game here and there, but that's when you allow him and give him a license to go further forward. And it's the same with Scott. It's the same with Scott McTominay. Really, you give them licenses to go forward, they may, you know, influence the game here and there with scoring a goal. But there's no way that at this point, after how many years we've seen that those two work together, that they should be starting midfielders in a Manchester United team going forward. Even more so Scott McTominay, who continues to be given excuse after excuse when he's literally in the midfield hiding away from receiving the ball. And when he does have the ball, he's just giving it away constantly and contributing to negative turnover.
What do you think of the Ronaldo situation?
I think it's a very sticky. It's weird. It's weird because even seeing him play today, after everything that's transpired, it's really weird.
Did he seem interested to you?
Half-hearted. Half-hearted is the best way to describe it because, you know, the time he came in, he wasn't very involved in the game. My stance is if a player wants to leave, then they have to go. Because if you are labeling this as a rebuild, then you have to be able to get rid of the players who don't want to be here to contribute to turning around the fortunes of this club. And if you're trying your best to make a player stay when he doesn't want to stay, for me, that's a red flag once again to the board and the ownership. Because you're not looking at this on a footballing perspective. You're looking at it from a financial perspective and seeing how keeping Ronaldo can benefit you for another season because it's going to sell shirts.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's wrap up. I'm going to ask each and one of you because this kind of popped up. I think it was this morning actually, or maybe even yesterday. It's about Steven Gerrard. Now, a lot of us have criticised Frank Lampard as a manager, rightfully or wrongly so. Why do you think Gerrard has not received any sort of criticism, considering how poorly he's done with Villa and how much he spent? We'll start with T.
The main reason is because of how he's revered at arguably the biggest club in the country. That's why, because he's a one-club man and he's someone that the English media love, the English media respect. You got to think of it in that sense. He hits all the romanticism part of football, and he isn't getting. And he's also, he's at a massive club as well in Aston Villa, where they have a crazy perception over there at Villa how they see their club right now. They actually tried to speak to Arsenal last season in terms of, we're going to finish above you, we'll take ESR, etc. So they are in a bubble in a sense at Aston Villa, and he's also getting a buy because of the success he had at Rangers. That people think that translates because he did have success. He won trophies there, whereas Lampard didn't, because Lampard was given the job at Chelsea without even getting Derby promoted. But so there is a bit of an agenda about it all, and it's just this is what I don't like with football, because once a narrative is out there, it's really hard to get people to think otherwise and trying to make them actually think and think, all right, is this actually the case? Because what Frank Lampard has done at Everton is a better job than what Steven Gerrard's done at Aston Villa. Like, Frank Lampard had to deal with an injured Calvert-Lewin, a complete mess of a situation with their financial troubles. He wasn't backed anywhere near. They signed Anwar El Ghazi while Villa are signing Coutinho. And he didn't even finish that far behind him in the end. And I think Frank Lampard has a worse hand to deal with now. And I still can kind of see Everton doing better, and it shouldn't be like that. Villa should be within the top 10 with the amount they've spent, the players they've brought in. Rich, I've been trying to say this to Aston Villa fans like Martin. They've signed 28-year-olds. They're not signing youth to hope that they build and get better. No, this is their best. They're only going to regress from here. Carlos, old 28, 29, Digne, Coutinho, Danny Ings, this is what they're building with. So he's getting away with it, honestly. It's a good point you raised.
Nate, what's your thoughts on this situation?
Well, put it this way. You see how the media came for Patrick Vieira straight away when he got appointed as our manager. He's going to be the first to be sacked and what have you. Nobody was saying that about Gerrard when he first walked in the door. Obviously, as Palace fans, we have a bit of a thing about Lampard because of his comments after the FA Cup and what have you. But credit to Lampard, when he needed to get Everton results last season, he did. Ironically, one was big against us, which, we have to accept. It was a good result for Everton, not so much for us. But with Gerrard, because he came in to replace a dead manager like Dean Smith, and because he's a media darling, of course he's going to get a free run. Now that Villa aren't anywhere near where they should be, as T said, Villa are a big club, but Villa shouldn't really be losing to a newly promoted team like Bournemouth. I know this is for Bournemouth, but you'd expect Villa to be very much in the pack of the league. But Villa spent bad, which caused them to get relegated. Then they got promoted, and they've slowly built. But as Tariq said, they're not signing players to grow and strengthen. They're signing proven, tried and tested. We did that for so long, and what happened? We got stale, stagnant, boring, just not fun to watch. Now we're trying to go the opposite way, and you can see it. We're making mistakes, as we did on Friday night, but we're not coming away from it going, oh, mate, we're in trouble. We're like, okay, it's cool. We'll get better as the season goes. With Villa, you don't know what to expect. And I think they in Southampton are in trouble. But Gerrard, of course, he's going to get away with it. He's a media darling. Vieira wouldn't get that kind of excuse. Just saying.
No, spot on there. I'll give we'll just do the last one with Manny, and then we'll get everyone to say, give their channel a plug, and then we'll wrap up. Manny, your thoughts on the whole Gerrard and Lampard situation?
I'm so glad you asked me about this, Rich, because here's the thing. There was a story in the Daily Mail or some other, it's become public now, about the way he treated Tyrone Mings, taking the captaincy away from him and making it very clear that he had to concentrate on his own game. Now, as a player, if we remember, he actually was given the Liverpool captaincy in similar circumstances when Gerard Houllier decided that Hyypiä would no longer have the armband. So Gerard should have been one to know the sensitivity of that sort of an issue. And I think Tariq and Nate have both made it very clear that he is a media darling, but let's make it crystal clear. If Aston Villa were ruthless enough to fire Dean Smith, they will be ruthless enough to make it clear that if results don't go to plan, then Gerrard will be in trouble. He's not immune either. And so I get the feeling that it won't be long before some cracks start to appear in the Aston Villa harmony in terms of how they conduct themselves. When they were going on a run last season and there was talk about them challenging for Europe, I mean, everyone was, gaga over them, but then they had a pretty poor run where I think they only won twice in their last 11 games, I think. And, it seems as though that stupor, that sort of funk, if you will, has not quite escaped them. And it's funny as well because they had a pretty good preseason themselves. Just goes to show that preseason isn't the be-all and end-all. Of course, it's only the first match week, but there's going to be a lot of work for Gerrard to do to try to make sure that he really gets the team united again. And he has to really make it clear to Tyrone Mings that, look, captaincy aside, I still consider you a big part of my plans. I just want you to try and get your act together. And maybe I went about this the wrong way. He's not going to admit to Mings that he went about it the wrong way, of course. But he's got a lot of work to do. And I think it won't be long before the media start coming down on him. It won't be long before the fans and the club start coming down on him. So I wouldn't hold my breath for that. He's got a lot of work to do. The team have got to get their act together. Simple as that. And it's a good result for Bournemouth anyway. I know that I know he's happy. Thumbs up.
No, it definitely is 100%. Guys, we'll wrap it there. Very good show. Honestly, I've shattered, and I wasn't actually going to do this, but with the way that results went, I thought, let me just quickly jump on and stuff. Big up to Nate. Nate's going to hold the fort next week for us. Got to celebrate wife's birthday. 100%. Can't be missing that. Otherwise, you might not see me again. She said very true in the back. I should have muted. But as per usual, so James, what I've done, I've put your channel link in the comments. So that's for James. Guys, if you don't know, this is James. Give him a thumbs up, James. There we go. He's going to be doing a live watch along of Bournemouth Man City. And let's make it around. I don't even know if you've got a channel. I'm very supportive.
I have a very small YouTube channel that I currently have no aspirations for whatsoever. So
that's not a way to plug it.
Unlike all the usual stuff, like, share, subscribe. This is my Twitter. This is my Insta. I'm not really about that. I like to keep things for myself.
That's great promotional skills, by the way.
Don't like, don't share, and definitely
don't subscribe.
Leave me alone.
I don't
Rich,
give a shit.
Triple H and the Undertaker are worried about this guy,
100%. Luca.
Yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Luca AFC. Plenty of content coming out next week, and thank you very much for inviting me on.
Yeah, no problem at all. No problem. Enjoy that win. We'll be back. I thought it was nerve making at this. Maddie!
Well, like Henry, I don't really have that much in terms of a YouTube channel, but I am thinking of doing something maybe for the World Cup, so that might change. Until then, you can catch me getting my backside whipped on Twitter. My ID is Bangor1981. You can also follow me on Instagram at Manning, Bangor1981. And you can also see me on several other channels on YouTube. I'm on Del Boy Gunner, Stephen Featley TV. And Rich, thank you so much for having me on. You came and had a chin wag with us. I want to return the favour. And as long as I'm welcome, I'd love to keep coming back.
Yeah, 100%. All I'll say is that you got to make sure that your screen's fully loaded. You looked like a Street Fighter unlocked character at one stage.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
That's all good. We're here for the banner. Edith.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
You don't sound like your usual self today. What's wrong?
Chelsea are terrible. That's why.
Yes, they won.
No, I've been reffing today. I'm really tired.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so you can catch me on here, there, and everywhere on everybody else's channels. And yeah, I'm on 532_pod on Instagram. I share my unprofessional thoughts and opinions on the beautiful game. And yeah, I'm sure I'll still be here next week and after. So you can catch me at Tariq Talks, Munzi Talks, Daddy and the Dons, and whoever else will have me. So big up to everyone, and thank you so much.
Big up, Hanif. Now, sorry. No, in fact, sorry. I'm going to come back to you because you need special treatment. I'm coming back.
Hey,
Yo, T.
Big up you, man, Rich, and big up Hanif, sounding like Callum Hudson and Doy. Take. I'll be wherever wants me. But yeah, man, you can find me at Tariq Talks. You can find me at Tariq Talks, people. Watching all things football, not just Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm sure you probably know that by now. But yeah, you can find me on there doing watch-alongs, talk shows. We've got a busy week coming up ahead as well. We've got the Super Cup coming on Wednesday, so I'm going to be doing a watch-along for that. And yeah, just join. And we talk a lot of things football, but if you want to also talk about other things, our watch-alongs is a great place for that. But big up everyone locked in. Rich, Manny, Nate, Luca, CM, Hanif, Henry, and the man James himself. Big up Bournemouth. Go on, you cherries.
Absolutely. So I had to come back to you, my bro, because honestly, I might have to make you do another intro for Get Amped. You might just have to be the intro guy, because listen, honestly, no one ever lied. This new intro, I'm just playing it for no reason.
Oh man, nah, listen, I appreciate the opportunity. I always say that, man. As long as I'm needed, I'm happy.
Listen, plug your channel, bro.
Listen, you can find me at CM22ENT over on Twitch, YouTube, socials, mostly on Twitter. But I'm on Instagram and TikTok as well. I'll be streaming Manchester United games, horror shows. Yeah, that's Manchester United games. I'll be doing games as well, just general video games and stuff like that. So yeah, man, just check it out.
No, make sure you do that. Like, his nice. One second. Bless her. His football manager streams, unbelievable. Jerk and FC. I don't know the rest. Sorry, I'll learn it. Something about being on the grill and stuff. I'll learn it.
Run it.
Running on the grill. We do it all for what? I forgot the
all for thrill.
Come on, with these fake fans. Nah, big up.
And obviously, your WWE stream is that was funny. That was funny. Hey. So make sure you tune in to CM22 Entertainment. My brother Nate.
You can find me on Eagle Eyed Football as usual. That's where I'll be. That's where I'm always at. You can also find me in the comments on a lot of these people's channels. So everybody just keep the community growing strong. We did it, people. 1K. The road to 2K now starts.
If you know what, guys, if you can get into 2K, Nate might be eating grass like Zaha.
Oh, that was a cheap shot.
Oh, well done. One win in 8. Big.
Oh, Tariq, you talk about eating grass. What about Odegaard? Because my man got sent for a spliff. Where was he?
Oh, Tariq. Granite Jack is dead. Anyway.
Swiss Luke.
Big up everyone.
Out of here with that.
Now, where can we not? I know. That's especially beef, to be fair. I love the old intro, Rich. I missed the old one. Hopefully, you can bring it back.
Nah,
I knew it was too cold. I'm sorry now.
No.
The new one is too cold.
The intro.
No, the new one.
Yeah. And to be fair, the new intro was. We had to have something a bit more us.
Yeah,
like, it was a bit more personal and personalized to the channel. Like, it's so unique and stuff. And yeah, that's wicked. That's wicked. And such. Big up Super Nick in the cup. I've messaged Super Nick already. You can't be going Johnson. I'm not telling me.
You know why the intro's so good? Even Ree knows it off by heart.
This is it. I read video. It was jokes. The EEF. Oh, okay, I see what you've done there. So I was reading Now's comment at the same time. I don't know why I decided to do that. But the new one's decent as well. Love it. I appreciate it.
Ooh.
All right. That's it, guys, for this week. And Nate's going to obviously hold the fort next week. I'll be tuning in at some point.
You got Liverpool next week.
On the Monday, so it don't matter.
Listen, if Fulham can give them a game, so can we. Come on.
We have Liverpool on the Monday, so it don't matter. We can relax.
Yeah, Rich, be wary of Liverpool. They're sore after the Fulham game, so they're going to want a result, yeah?
Yeah, let's just hope we press them to death like Fulham did. Anyway, people, we out.
Everyone's disappearing like nothing.
Bro, we're still alive.
We're still